What supplements should you take and why should you take them? Hello and welcome to another video, guys. My name is Jordan Moyer, head coach of Limitless Results. I'm making this video largely for the benefit of my clients, but I'm also going to post to the channel so that if anyone wants the information, they can also benefit from it. If you watch all the way to the end, you're going to know exactly what supplements that I personally recommend that you take, why I recommend you take them, and some of the science and health benefits behind them. Let's get into it. So, first off, I'm going to start with my core 3 supplements that I do recommend pretty much everybody take. That's a multivitamin, a protein powder supplement, and a pre-workout, okay? And I'll tell you why, starting with the multivitamin. We're simply deficient in vitamins and minerals from our diet and our food sources, so it's a good idea to add as many of them as we can. That's why I just believe in supplementing with the multivitamin. I don't recommend any specific multivitamin, but if you do want to see the ones that are associated with Fit Life Brands, the company I'm sponsored by, there's going to be a link in the description there, okay? The second one we're going to get into is protein powder. Now, being a fitness coach and having all the years of experience that I do have helping people, the one thing that I've noticed usually stands out in people's diets is that they're deficient in the amount of protein that they require to reach their desired body composition, okay? And personally, me, the one reason that I do supplement with protein powder is just so that I can hit my protein goal without having to eat a lot of meat. So if you don't like eating a lot of meat, this might be a good thing for you. If you can handle hitting your protein target with meat and other things, then you may not even need one, okay? And the third thing is a pre-workout. So one of the most important variables when it comes to your training to get the results that you want to see is the intensity that you put into it. So I do recommend a pre-workout, potentially one that's based with stimulants so that you can have a better, more intense, more focused workout, right? When you take a pre-workout before going to the gym, you'll find that you're able to put more intensity, more effort, and you know what I mean, focus on that workout a little more than if you didn't, right? If you are sensitive to stimulants, there are stimulant-free ones. There's definitely other benefits that they contain as well. I personally love to take a pre-workout that boosts your pump and boosts your endurance levels, okay? So you want to look for, if you're looking for a pump, you want to look for a pre-workout with at least probably 6 to 8 grams of an ingredient that's called citrulline malate. And the company that I'm sponsored by, Fit Life Brands and Isatori Inc. makes the pre-workout that I take, and it has that amount of citrulline in it. So I actually do recommend that, and I take it because I enjoy it, it works, and it tastes well, right? But any pre-workout that you enjoy is going to be fine. No, so I guess I actually do recommend 4 as well, because the fourth one is a fish oil. Now, a lot of those fish oil supplements that you see in the grocery stores, in Costco or wherever, they're not very high in the active ingredient that you actually want to search for. So make note of this: the active ingredient is the EPA/DHA, and it typically comes in a 60-40 split, which should be super easy to find. Now, usually it's underdosed by quite a bit. Some tablets have 300 milligrams or 600 milligrams, something like that. And the amount of that active ingredient that you personally want to be taking per day is more than 2 grams. I take closer to 3 just because I'm a bit of a larger man. But if you're an average size person, then, or even a smaller size person, then I'd probably stick to that 2 gram limit, if that makes sense. So now we'll get into what I'm going to call the bonus supplements. Ashwagandha, rhodiola rosacea. They both are supposed to help your body combat stress. Personally, I'm taking ashwagandha right now, and I do take rhodiola, but I just didn't have any as I traveled, so it's probably something I'm going to find as well. Ashwagandha also helps reduce inflammation, which is the source of a lot of problems within your body, right? So if you can reduce your inflammation, your body will become more alkalized, and you'll have less pain essentially, right? So there's another one, what is it? It's called turmeric. Turmeric's also really good for that. With turmeric, what you want to do is also make sure you're eating that with black pepper and potentially a fat source based on all the talks that I've heard from doctors on that specific supplement. The rhodiola rosacea is supposed to reduce fatigue, reduce stress, and things like that as well. And it's not something that you feel, you know what I mean, immediate and intense effects from, but it is something that I personally take, so that should tell you that I believe in it. And if you want to add it to your supplement, your supplement roster, I don't see any harm in it. Okay, and now we're going to get into the fun ones for, boosting performance and increasing fat loss. Okay, so creatine. Creatine is really good. It's the most studied supplement on the planet. Creatine monohydrate is the base form of it, and you don't need any other fancy forms, okay? There is a slightly different form in my pre-workout that I mentioned, but you know, it has its own research behind it, and if you just want to go with creatine monohydrate, that's going to be good enough. Now, I do recommend you do a loading phase. For the first 10 days you're taking it, you do want to take somewhere in the range of 10 to 15 grams of it, and then after that, you cut it down to just 5 grams per day, and then you continue taking that as long as you want. It's going to boost your strength, and it should increase the size of your muscle cells. It has no effect on fat loss or fat gain, right? And it doesn't really make you look bloated like some people have said. Now, actually, I guess maybe it could essentially have an effect on fat loss if it increases your strength. You would be lifting more, therefore burning more calories. So, I mean, that could be a different way to look at it, all right? Now, supplement I do recommend for fat loss is L-Carnitine, and the amount of that you want to get in is 3 grams or more per day. I find it's best to take it first thing in the morning or before your cardio training, okay? And the company that I like, again, the company that I'm mentioning, Isotori, they have a really great form of it. It's called LS3, and it has 3 different types of carnitine. It's very well studied, very well backed by science, and it's very potent, and 1 serving is giving you the 3 grams that you need. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is a little bit of a morning shot, okay? So the morning shot is also going to help alkalize your body. It's going to help with digestion, things like that, and it contains a electrolyte that will really help because most people are deficient in electrolytes. So electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, sodium, things like that. Bananas are really good for it, sea salt. But I'm going to give you the recipe for the morning shots right now. It's 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You're going to put that in a glass with some water, and you're going to put 2 teaspoons of ideally pink Himalayan salt or sea salt in that glass with it, and then drink it down. I find it's best if you do it on an empty stomach, and I find it's best if you give it about 10 to 20 minutes between drinking that and drinking or eating anything else if you're able to, right? The only other thing you could do to potentially add to that if you wanted to is add a greens powder in it, or you could take a greens powder on your own, right? And if you're eating a lot of vegetables, especially if you're maybe on a vegetarian or a vegan diet, you probably won't need to worry about a greens powder. But if you're like me and you know sometimes deficient in them, that might be a good thing to supplement with. But then again, you can also just eat your vegetables, okay? So that's, let me see here. Okay, the morning shot, it also balances your pH levels, which is the alkalization that I've been talking about, you know what I mean, in terms of promoting the state of healing and wellness in your body, all right? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this information. I hope you found it useful. Please drop a comment, let me know what supplements you're going to be taking off of this list of recommendations, if any. And also let me know if there's any other information that you would like to see me produce a short video on, or maybe even a longer video. I'd be glad to help, and I'm always looking for ideas on other content to produce. Aside from that, I hope you have the best day of your life today, and I will see you in the next video.